everybody, and welcome to the Nerd Ledger. I'm Cage. I am here with Mr. Sir Chair.
Chair.
Do you prefer Mr. Chair or Sir Chair?
It doesn't matter.
Or L Chair?
Don't care. Just call me Chair. Simple
Alright.
Chair.
Okay. Well, we have a couple things to talk about. Not a whole bunch of things, but a couple things. And I guess, okay. We'll just start with the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. Okay, we'll just start with that. So obviously,
Yep.
obviously you watched it.
Yeah, I did.
And do you have thoughts about it?
I mean, it was like what, minute and 40, minute 50. So I have like a minute and 50 worth of thoughts, and most of it were just cool action shots. It's not really a deep story or anything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
just showing off how cool everything looks, all the aliens and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and the CGI.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's some maybe story hints in there. I mean, I think we're both kind of similar in the way that when we watch trailers, we're hoping to not get too much of the story because we want to enjoy the movie when we watch it and not go in thinking we know what's going to happen and then disappointed that something different happened. So, there wasn't a whole lot there as far as story elements, but yeah, there was a lot of cool things.
Yep.
We see the huts. We see apparently the little monkey character alien guy is played by Martin Scorsese. So apparently people are excited about that for some reason.
Yep.
We see Zeb Aurelius from Rebels.
Yep.
Briefly, we also see Enbo from Rebels. Not from Rebels. He's from Clone Wars. The bounty hunter with the cool hat that he throws, You know
Yep.
what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of cool things. We see Grogu starting to gain some more agency as he, hones his skills. It seems like for large portions maybe of this film, he and the Mandalorian will be separated in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
So I thought it was really cool. I'm excited for the movie more so than I was before when they just announced it.
Yep.
So
We got to see a lot of more Dave Filoni classics. Embo's in there, the bounty hunter. That was pretty dope.
yeah,
He had that whole sequence when he was like skiing down the mountainside after Anakin and Padme in the Clone Wars on his hat. He uses like a laser crossbow and he has like a beast. That's pretty badass.
yeah.
So yeah.
Seeing him in live action is gonna be sick.
Yeah. Some more huts and stuff like that.
Yep. A lot of cool stuff to be excited about. That's what there is. And like thinking about it, I mean, it kind of made me question reality because it's like that's only like 3 months away.
Yeah.
So
It's really close. And it's gonna be a good. I feel like it's gonna be a good movie. Like I just have like a feeling like it's gonna be a fun Star Wars movie.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty jazzed about that. That's a terrible expression.
Or maybe it'll be syrup. Maybe it'll be horrible and it'll suck and it'll not make any sense. It'll just be Dave Filoni jerking himself off for 2 hours. I don't know. We'll see. That's the fun thing about movies. You never know if they're gonna be good or bad.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously the trailer. It's hard to tell if something's good or bad based on the trailer, but the trailer was good. So hopefully the movie is good, right? Like hopefully they didn't just put the best parts of the movie in the trailer and then you go watch the movie and it's just a lot of nothing. But I have high hopes for that film.
Yeah, same.
There were some other trailers released that we didn't watch. I'm assuming you didn't watch it. I didn't watch them. Toy Story 5, and House of the Dragon Season 3. Those are things coming up. So if you guys are interested in those things,
I
go
saw the
watch
trailer
those
for
trailers.
Toy Story. Yeah, I saw the trailer for Toy Story 5. It looked great.
Really?
Just yeah, it looks like more Toy Story. Hopefully we'll have
I'm
some
gonna be
neat.
honest. I only watched the first two Toy Stories.
Oh, Toy Story 3 was really good, really good. I didn't
Yeah.
watch Toy Story 4, but Toy Story 3 was really, really good. That shit made me cry. I took a girl on a date to see it in a drive-through, and I remember I was bawling my eyes out towards the end there, and she's like, "Oh, it's okay," and I was like
Bro,
crying so
you
fucking
must
hard.
have been like 13 when that movie came out.
Toy Story 3? No, I was like 16 or 17 years old.
Really?
Yeah,
I think I was 16 or 17. When did they come out? Like 20.
I don't
Maybe
remember.
it was like 20. It's like 2011 or 2012, I think. So maybe I was 17 or 18, and you were 16 or 17. That makes sense, I guess. But yeah. Um. Okay. Yeah. Toy Story 5. And House of the Dragon season 3 for people interested in those things. I'll be watching House of the Dragon season 3 when it comes out, but I didn't watch the trailer because you know I'm not a huge trailer person anymore. Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna I might watch Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I may watch it. We'll see.
it is quite good. It's it's so much its own thing in a lot of ways that like people because I spoke to a couple people that I work with who tried watching House of the Dragon like you and couldn't really get into it, and this one of the people I talked to also like they kind of liked the first couple seasons of Game of Thrones, but like felt like most of it was kind of boring, and they're really enjoying A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. So, I think it's a more palatable story within the Game of Thrones world, which is cool. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, I mean, I there's only one episode left. I mean, it comes out Sunday, so it's really short first season. Um, so it's easy, and like I said, like I told you last time, the episodes are kind of shorter. Like they're only like 30 to 40 minutes each, so it's easy to
Hmm.
just get through them, and they're enjoyable that way. So, yeah. Uh, and then I also have an update kind of on the Warner Brothers, Netflix, Paramount Circle Jerk. So quick like recap. Paramount really wanted to buy Warner Brothers. They felt like they offered a better deal. Warner Brothers pretty much shafted them and chose to go with Netflix, who didn't have as good of a deal. But then Netflix came out with a better deal, and then Warner Brothers kept coming out with better deals. And they tried a hostile takeover. But Warner Brothers wanted to go with Netflix. Now there's lawmakers involved because of antitrust laws and things like this, and Warner Brothers came back to the table kind of and gave Paramount another week or so or whatever to like send an upgraded offer, which who knows if that'll happen. And James Cameron wrote a letter to a lawmaker contending that Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers would be disastrous. So
James Cameron did that.
he did, yes. James Cameron, director of the Terminator films, the Avatar films, um, Aliens. Did he? He didn't do the first Alien, right? He did the second one only. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't know.
Maybe he did both. But yeah, famed filmmaker James Cameron has said that Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers would be disastrous. So
Hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of people that think that. There's a lot of people that think that there'd be too much power under one organization, and these things exist already. To be honest, like there are so many things that antitrust doesn't do anything about, where a few businesses have so much power that they create markets that are very uncompetitive.
Hmm.
I mean, the Walmart,
Or
but
Disney. You
yeah,
know, just
yeah,
has it's
Disney, yeah.
all the movie. They have control of all the movie magic.
Well, and that's the thing. Disney set a precedent in one way, shape, or form when they acquired Fox. Like,
Hmm.
if Disney can acquire Fox, Netflix can point to that and say, "Well, you didn't have a problem with Disney acquiring Fox. What's the problem with us acquiring, Warner Brothers?" Like, and then they can go back and forth on the actual values of those companies and the intellectual properties owned by those companies and blah blah blah. But sometimes when things are allowed to happen, you create other things. You set a precedent that allows other things to happen. And I don't know. People believe different things. Less government, more government. I don't know what the answer is. Markets figure themselves out. Who knows? I don't know. Okay, guys, I don't know. But um, it could be a reality that Netflix will own Warner Brothers, and we'll see if they keep their word about theatrical windows and all that stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, the last thing I want to talk about, and this will just be kind of our topic of conversation, I guess. Uh, we talked a couple times about the presence of AI and how it could impact, the film industry and artistry and blah, blah, blah. And I said on multiple occasions that I don't think it's going to be a huge deal. Like, people will be upset about it, but it's inevitable. And, I made the, like, analogy to CGI and said, like, CGI took some jobs, from practical artists and this and that, and it might be similar with AI. And I think I was wrong to make that analogy, to be honest. Um,
Mm.
be- I still hold my belief that it is inevitable. It's going to happen. It will be a massive part of every entertainment industry, music, movies, television, artwork, everything. Like, it's going to be pervasive in all those things. But I think it will take more than just artists' jobs. Because have you seen all the Sea Dance 2.0 stuff that's been happening?
No.
All right, well, there's a company called ByteDance. It's a Chinese company. They own TikTok. They own a whole bunch of other things. They own game studios like Tencent and things. Like, you're familiar with all that stuff, right?
Yeah, I know I'm not aware of Tencent. They fund like 20% of all the games ever made, basically.
Right. So that company, ByteDance, who owns all that, also came out with a new AI technology called Sea Dance 2.0, and people are using it to essentially create like short films or short scenes with Hollywood actors or characters from Game of Thrones or Marvel or Star Wars, and they're very, very convincing.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously, it's causing some uproar. It's causing lawsuits already around IP infringements, or copyright infringements. Like they're getting hit with DMCA laws and things like that, because users or people within the organization or whatever use that technology to create like the first one that was a big, like, people were like, holy shit, was like this like live fight scene between Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. And I watched a little bit of it, but not a lot. But I mean, it looks real. And if you can create films using AI, a lot of studios will, right? A lot of studios will
Yeah.
do that because it's way cheaper than paying actors and building sets and paying for graphics and everything else. You just plug in some prompts, a script, whatever, say what you want the characters to look like, how you want them to move. You can do all that stuff and it'll pop out a film for you. And there will be people upset about it, people within Hollywood who feel like they're losing jobs, consumers who feel like they don't want to support that. But there will also be people that do want to see those things, right? Like, think about people who, 20 years ago were making fan films on YouTube, right? Like, anything like Star Wars, you wanted to see a fan film of like, well, like, what happened if Mace Windu didn't die when he got shot out the window, right? Like, people made fan films about that. If you can use AI to do it, like, they will do it, and there will be plenty of nerds out there interested in watching that. And so it's one of those interesting kind of conversations where you kind of ask, is it, since it's inevitable, should we do nothing about it, or should people try to stop it like so many are right now? Like, I don't know if you have any thoughts on it, but
I think it's the future. I think it's coming. I don't know how it's going to shake out. I don't know how it's going to land. If it's going to be a good thing, it's going to be a bad thing. There's a ton of people that say it's a bad thing. I don't know. Usually, when everyone says the same thing, I tend to disagree because I'm just a natural contrarian. So when everyone's saying that AI is a bad thing, I just don't agree with it because I just don't. That's not how my mind thinks. Also, at the same time, I don't think this is necessarily a good thing either. It's like a whole new invention. Like it's a whole new world. Like I'm sure you feel the pressure sometimes too. Is you work in a corporate office, a lot of this stuff that a lot of AI stuff a lot of it can be automated. Sending emails, parsing out ideas, project management, all that kind of stuff. It's like it's coming for like a lot of different jobs in a lot of different sectors. It's not just movies and everything like that. I think that's what everyone's really afraid of. We haven't really done anything as like a society to like, okay, what do we do in the future where technology is so great where we're like, we have these things called where we have like no jobs to give out to people because it's AI is so good and automation is so good that we can just have everything made essentially for free now. How does that world look like? That's like a whole different labor force participation has been like a defining characteristic of the economy for the last 100 years or like 200 years or like literally forever. Humans have always had
Literally
jobs.
forever. Yeah. We need
Literally
people to
forever.
do
Humans have
things.
always had jobs.
It's a baseline of all society.
Now you have a machine where you can go and punch in, okay, I want you to do X, Y, and Z, and it'll do X, Y, and Z for you, no problem. That's like futuristic tech shit.
Yeah.
Like they have automated bartenders, they have automated restaurants. Like, eventually I think that'll be like the norm where you just walk up to a restaurant, it's like just a giant machine that you punch your order into and it spits out the order. You know?
Right.
I think that's like the future of a lot of things. And how the economy looks after that is just it's anyone's guess. It could be like literally like dystopian like cyberpunk where there's hundreds of thousands of homeless people lining the streets everywhere and like there's like math it's like just horrible and it's like the like a dystopian society where nobody has jobs but there's still people that like maintain the machines, invent the machines, have like all this wealth and power and they can just do whatever the fuck they want. Or it'd be kind of like Star Trek, we're like, okay, well, we have no more jobs, so more people are going to pursue creative careers and stuff like that, and we're going to have to do away with the idea of money, or we're going to have to make sure like everyone there's like a baseline of like societal welcome that you should enjoy, and machines are able to do all these things at very cost-effective rates because we don't have to pay anyone. They have 3D printed houses now, so I'm pretty sure eventually at some point that'll be the norm too, where you have a machine build a house for you in like and a whole day. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days for free without needing 80 people who had need to be paid at least 90 grand a year to make it. You know,
Yeah.
so it's a whole different world.
Yeah, it's a interesting reality to think about because it's not our reality yet. I mean, I always it's one of those things where people are always against change or the risk of something, and the reality is we live in a world and in a country where we thrive on the idea of pushing the envelope and being ambitious and moving forward, and our entire economic system is based on the idea that as new better things emerge because we're creating them, we don't need the old less efficient things, right? If we had that mindset of, well, people are going to lose jobs so we shouldn't do it, well, we would have never invented the automobile, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's scary. That's different. People make horse and buggy carts for a living. Those things don't exist anymore, right?
yeah,
Because we don't need them. But we created a bunch of new jobs and a bunch of more high paying jobs and obviously the moving assembly line and all this other stuff, right? So this
and this is
idea
I
that
think where it's different, because AI really does away with jobs and doesn't replace them. It just does away with them. Like for the amount of like people that like not everybody is going to want to be working in the AI, like working in the programming AI business. Like coding is extremely mentally taxing. So people like doing physical labor jobs and stuff like
yeah, I
that.
mean you'll
Well,
create
not
more
like, but it's
jobs in
like
like lithium mining and shit.
yeah, and the mines are getting automated too. That's the other problem. They have like a self-autonomous mining vehicles and stuff like that too. Like they have a so long till they have self-driving trucks that just haul, an individual oring unit drives out a bunch of ore and then dumps it into an auto truck, which takes it down to an automatic refiner that just dumps it. The whole process is automated. That's not something that's too crazy. It's just making that system. Someone needs to make that system, and it's just a wild. It's the Wild West. It's the Wild West. It's the future. The future's scary. I think that's why
Yeah.
everyone's reacting to AI the way it is because it's scary. No one really knows whose job it'll take. If it'll make society better, if it'll make society worse. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, but we also have this weird ego. At least, I mean, we are obviously we live in the U.S. and there always feels like this massive ego of we're the only people that matter for some reason.
Hmm.
Because I remember a couple years ago when AI was really starting to take off, right when OpenAI came out and ChatGPT was like the big thing. You had people going before lawmakers trying to say, well, we should put the brakes on this. We shouldn't be developing AI. We should put laws in place to stop developing AI because of how dangerous it could be, how far it could go, all this other stuff. The reality is, you're just putting this country in a bad situation doing that because China's
Hmm.
not going to stop and Russia's not going to stop, and all these countries that are developing at a faster rate than us are going to continue developing AI to the point that if we had stopped, we put ourselves at a severe disadvantage, and that creates security risks and all these other issues because we are moving into a world where we need to make sure AI is on par in our country with other countries that want to do
Yeah.
bad things with it, right? Like we don't necessarily want like to do bad things with artificial intelligence. Of course there will be people who do want to do bad things with it, and there are some limits on the things that AI is allowed to do, right? Like you can't type into AI and be like, give me an image of this hot celebrity naked. Like it won't do it unless you like jailbreak it or some shit, right? Because
Yeah.
that is potentially harmful. Um, Other countries won't do those things. They won't put those limits on because they don't care and they want to use AI eventually for bad things, right? So we need to, on the opposite end, develop better technology to identify artificial intelligence when it's being used in images and videos and etc. And things of that nature, right? So I I don't think there's any stopping the train that exists, right? There's no stopping AI at this point. It is the future of the world, that will eliminate a lot of jobs. And that's the partially ironic thing is people in Hollywood are upset about it because now it's threatening their jobs, but they weren't as upset about it when it was already taking other people's jobs, right? And that's how we are as a society, as a world, right? We only care when things start to affect us. So I don't begrudge them, but that's where we're at. That's the reality. AI is not going to stop. The question really is, do you think anybody should try to do anything to stop it?
I mean, I think they can, but I think they can't. It's like turning back the wheel. Like I think people are already developing it, and it's like too late now. We just got to see where the future goes.
Yeah, at this point, is it like virtue signaling to be like, I'm very anti AI, or is it more like you're taking a position that is popular, you're taking a position that gives you some brownie points, or is it more just like it doesn't really matter what your position is, it's coming, and it's okay to be afraid of that? You just accept it. There's nothing you can do about it. You can speak out about it. You can try to warn people of the dangers of it, but there's nothing we can actually do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, I did see like Matthew McConaughey pretty much said that same thing, where he pretty much said it's coming, and there's nothing that's gonna stop Hollywood execs from using it because there's so much money to be made from it and so much that it can do that that's the reality. So you can be upset about it and cry about it all you want, but at the end of the day, it's gonna happen, right? Like that's how the world works. So
Yep.
have you in your personal life used AI a lot, or in like work?
Yeah,
Do you?
so I do this really nerdy thing called role play, right? It's where you post like where you pretend to be your character in a video game, right? You do that on
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly common on MMORPGs where you just like, you're in your character's like in this setting in the world, you give your character a name, you start role playing, right? A lot of role players use AI to generate character images, to generate images of locations, to generate even text for role play purposes. I used it to edit some of my posts, but no, I haven't really used it to write anything or do anything too intense like that.
Yeah. Have you used it for work in any way? Like, is it a part of?
Yeah, a lot of real estate agents use AI for work. I've used it to generate property descriptions based off the MLS data. I've used it to generate images for self promotion. I have a Chat GPT subscription. It's 19.99 a month, which honestly isn't that bad, considering all the other apps out there. Considering how much Chat GPT does for you, it gives you access to the image generation too on just that one subscription. So,
Yeah.
you know, and you don't have credit. You don't really have credits on Chat GPT. You can kind of just do whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really use it personally. Like I've used it a couple times. I don't have a subscription or anything. I know my wife uses it. Like she's used it to like create murder mysteries for like parties she's thrown and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, we have access to it at work. I barely use it, but one time I did use it. Like it was really actually helpful because there was like a survey done. Like so, like yeah, I work corporate, and so there's like a bunch of entities we work with to be non-specific,
Hmm.
like 120 of them, and one of our operations people had sent out a survey to each of them, and then they put them on individual tabs in an Excel spreadsheet. So all the feedback, you had 120 tabs of feedback for like 50 different things on each tab. And I'm like, how do you turn this into anything actionable like the way it is? Like this was done terribly. And so I just put it into AI and told it to summarize.
Hmm.
Like, what are the consistent themes across these tabs? Like, what's the feedback? And I just used that and I sent it out to executives because what am I supposed to do with that? I'm not gonna go spend 2 weeks mining this data manually, getting all the feedback and compiling it. Okay, this was said this many times. This was said this many times. Like that's crazy. That's insane. If they would have put it on one Excel spreadsheet, one tab, I could have done something with that data. But 120 tabs, that's crazy.
Hmm.
So I used AI for that. Um, Obviously sometimes you gotta verify it, you gotta validate it, you gotta double check that it's like doing the right things. It's still obviously AI is still learning, and then like when you use AI in a corporate setting, you have to have agreements with that AI company so that because I can't just use Chat GPT, right? I can't upload like what's the word? Um, there's a word for it. It's like proprietary data. That's the word. I can't upload like our proprietary data to ChatGPT because then it becomes public data, right? Like because then it uses it in other algorithms and things like that. So like with things like Copilot and stuff, like a lot of companies will have licensing agreements specifically with them so that you can use proprietary data and it'll keep it private in that license agreement and also like um, you don't like it'll learn from your data, not like have all this input from everybody else's data. So we have access to that, and sometimes I use it, but not very often. And it hasn't automated any jobs in our line of work yet. That's not to say that it can't or shouldn't. It just hasn't really hit us that way yet. So, but it's coming. It's coming. Um, I think there are going to be really cool like fan made AI films for like Star Wars stuff, maybe some like Lord of the Rings. Like someone might like have them try to create like a mini film of like parts of the Silmarillion and shit. There can be like some really cool stuff created through AI, and it might be unfortunate that jobs will be eliminated in the future, but that is the unfortunate reality. And as humans, as Americans, as individuals, our job is never to fear the future. It's to adapt to the changes that come because we can't control everything. All we can control is how we respond to those things and how we move forward with our lives. So I don't know if that's encouraging or not, but that's what I have to say.
We'll see what the future holds. That's all we can do.
Yep. So yeah, that brings us to the end. I didn't have anything else planned. At some point, we'll talk about Wonder Man.
Yeah.
If you need Disney Plus for any reason, I might be able to help you
No, I think I'm gonna get it for myself. It's because I was bumming my sister's account for a long time, but
Oh,
she put it on freeze just after a few months ago. So now I think I may just get my own subscription. I can afford it. It's not a problem. But the problem is just I'd use it to watch Wonder Man once, and like with my Crunchyroll subscription, right? I watch anime every day. Like with the
yeah.
Disney Plus subscription, I would use it to watch like one thing every once in a while.
Yeah. Well,
So
you have Wonder Man now, and then next month Daredevil. So,
yeah,
back to back.
yeah, definitely gotta watch that stuff. And well, I want to watch the new Muppet Show too. I heard it's pretty charming.
Yeah. And the new Predator movies on Disney Plus now.
Hmm.
So I'll watch that at some point. Predator Badlands. That was also a bit of news. It was funny because you have all those rage baity like red pill Andes online who every time anything new in a franchise comes out, it's like, oh, these people are so woke and blah blah blah, and this is woke and that's woke and blah blah blah. And Dan Trachtenberg, who's been doing the Predator movies for Disney, like he did Prey, and then he did Badlands, and he did the Hulu cartoon one. Um, he signed this like big deal with Paramount, and so like this red pill Andes were like, haha, this woke guy left, and like your franchise is dead now, and he's not doing any more Predator things, and blah blah blah, and Disney, is screwed and whatever. And then he did an interview, and he was like, yeah, I signed this long term deal with Paramount, but I still have plans with Disney, and we're still gonna make Predator movies. I'm like, all right, so wow, awesome. So all that was meaningless. Anyway, that's it. We'll be back next week. Hope you guys enjoy. Like, comment, rate, review, subscribe. Share your thoughts on AI. Maybe write your thoughts into AI and tell it to make it more eloquent before you send it to us. All right. See you next time. Bye.